Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to the final edition of the Flash Season 7 review series, and today I am going to be talking about Episode 18, Heart of the Matter Part 2, which I have just finished watching, and this was the Season 7 finale of the show, and I have to say that this finale was actually pretty good. I know I've said from the very beginning that Season 7 has been very up and down, some very weak episodes in the middle, and I did say before that the first 2 to 4 episodes were pretty good, but in the middle it just kind of went a bit off track, very up and down, some very weak episodes, but I would probably say that the last 4 or 5 episodes have been absolutely fantastic, and I would say that is probably enough to carry Season 7 to being a decent one, in my opinion. This won't go down as the best season of the show ever, but I wouldn't say it would go down as one of the worst. I would probably say Season 7 will go down for me as average, but having said that, despite its ups and downs, it's had some very good episodes and some very dull episodes, but the season finale for the show was really good, and I really enjoyed this one a lot. The way it ended, which I will get into in a moment, did kind of leave it open, but at the same time, it didn't set up for anything. This kind of felt like this was the series finale as opposed to the season finale. So there was no clue to what's going to happen for Season 8, as we all know has been confirmed. So we're just going to have to wait and see really what's going to happen next, because there was nothing really that made you think, oh right, this is what we're going to get for Season 8. It just kind of felt like this was the actual end, but like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. So, we're going to do a quick recap of what's happened so far, and then we're going to get straight into talking about Episode 18. So, we've seen Impulse make his Arrowverse debut, and he is the main adversary of Godspeed, and as we've seen so far, an army of Godspeeds have been engaging in a civil war with one another, so we've seen all the clones fighting each other, and as we saw at the end of episode 17, Impulse was the casualty of a Godspeed attack which has left him in a coma, and Jade Garrick made his return to help out, so Impulse's life is pretty much hanging in the balance. So that's kind of left it wide open for part 2, which is Heart of the Matter, and it pretty much picks up where we left off at the end of episode 17, and there were some very cool moments in this episode, and we even saw the return of a very familiar and old enemy of the Flash. For those of you who know who that is, you know who I'm talking about. More on that in a moment, but by and large I thought this was a very good episode and a decent season finale. Probably not as strong as some of the earlier ones, but this was still highly enjoyable and there were some very fun moments. So with that all said, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about episode 18, the season 7 finale, Heart of the Matter, part 2. So part 2 picks up where we left off at the end of part 1, where we see Bart is still in a coma and Nora is worried and upset about not only her brother's situation, but the entire set of circumstances they find themselves in. Caitlin tries to reassure her, but she cannot. On the streets into Central City, Joe and Kramer flee their car as the Godspeed clones continues to fight as their war escalates out of control. Meanwhile, inside August's mind, where we see Barry Allen confronts him about what he wants, because as you remember, at the end of part 1, Barry Allen transferred his mind into August's mind to try and find out how to save Bart Allen. And after toying with Barry for a bit, August reveals that he wants organic speed. August sees himself as being the god of speed and the only one worthy of it. If Barry doesn't give him organic speed as opposed to the artificial speed he has now, he will destroy Central City and the world, and he also reveals that his current memory loss isn't an act. Barry, of course, refuses. Barry explains to everyone what August wants. Nora insists that they have to give him the organic speed, but Barry disagrees. Jay and Barry brainstorm on a plan. Cecile speaks of August, who does not have his memory, but is now aware he is a monster, who is very distraught. Cecile tells him that bad guys don't feel this kind of remorse, and maybe the future isn't set in stone yet. Chester finds Allegra and gives her a much-needed pep talk. Barry's plan ends up being bringing in Speed Force Nora. She gives them all a power boost, including Iris, as she has a spark of Speed Force. This also helps bring Bart Allen back to life as well, and we see Bart Allen has a touching moment with Jay, who he refers to as Uncle Jay. So yeah, it's great to see Impulse back with full of energy and better than ever. And I definitely would love to see him have his own spin-off series. He's a really fun character, and I think the show have done an excellent job with him. And Jordan Fisher, he's just knocking it out of the park as Bart Allen so far. Back on the bridge, Joe and Kramer try to save as many people as they can when a Godspeed clone attacks Joe. Suddenly, Kramer speeds him away, saving his life, much to both of their surprises, though Kramer collapses once they've reached safety. The assembled team of speedsters confronts the Godspeed clones in an epic battle, which really was a real geek-out moment, seeing everybody in full costume, minus Speed Force Nora, of course, just taking out all of the clones. Really loved this a lot. I do wish that Kid Flash was there, because that would have just been the icing on the cake, but it was still a great moment, and this reminded me of why I love the show so much. And you know, this kind of brought back the feel of the old show, how it used to be. You know, this is what I've missed so much. So then we see the battle goes very well at first, but then suddenly they start to recharge, draining Speed Force Nora and everybody else. She quickly leaves, but Allegra shows up with the SEE mecha charging it. The clones are down, but the machine is fried and more clones are coming. Running out of options, Nora makes another plea to just give August the organic speed that he needs. Barry and Iris decide to do it. They set up the experiment. August says he will try to come back, but not as a bad guy. The transfer is successful, but August comes back as the villainous Godspeed. Barry tells everyone to stay at Star Labs no matter what happens, as he and Iris have a plan, and then speeds off after Godspeed. Godspeed calls his clones back to him, and they prepare to kill the Flash. In the Force's headquarters, Iris serves as an anchor for the Speed Force Nora, while outside in the real world, the Flash and Godspeed battle. Things start to look bleak, and Bart tries to go and help, but Jay stops him and gives him some wisdom, keeping him there. Just as Godspeed goes to kill the Flash, another speedster shows up, and it's none other than Eobard Thawne himself, aka the Reverse Flash. And this to me was just a really weird moment, because, you know, for so long, Eobard Thawne has been on a mission to make Barry's life a living hell and just downright make him feel miserable. I mean, he killed his mother, for God's sake. And to see him now working together was just really weird. But it was still a great moment, but it just was weird. And then we see the two enemies team up to take down Godspeed. And this, to me, just reminded me of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fighting Darth Maul in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Just seeing them using, like, lightsabers, but as lightning energy. It was just really funny and really cool at the same time. So after a long tense battle, Reverse Flash stabs Godspeed, ending things, but Godspeed does not die. With Godspeed out of the way, Thawne turns on Barry because what do you expect? And he tries to kill him, but is stunned to discover that Barry is now faster than him. A frustrated Thawne races off, saying that you haven't seen the last of me and I will be back, and I will be faster than you so I can defeat you. I thought this was a good turning point in Barry's character, because before, he used to get so wound up every time he would see Eobard Thawne. But over the course of the last few seasons, he's starting to build up his confidence more, and every time he sees him, he's just like, oh, it's you, Thawne, you know? And I remember, I think, back in season 5, I believe, when he went to see him in prison, and Eobard Thawne was just taunting him over and over, and Barry's just like, yeah, whatever, Thawne, I don't care about you anymore. So it's kind of cool to see that he's not afraid of the Reverse Flash anymore. So I think that sets up for a future final battle, if and when that does take place. The episode also explains what Kramer's had to deal with, and it turns out that she is a metahuman and didn't know it. She has mimic powers that come out in times of extreme duress. Adam was correct. She should have died in the army attack, but she was close to his immortal healing powers, which saved her. Because she was near speedsters, she became one to save Joe. Realising what her actions have caused, she decided to take a leave of absence and sort of get her head straight. Nice. So with everything done, Iris explains that Speed Force Nora tapped into the negative Speed Force to get Thawne because they knew that Thawne couldn't let anyone else kill Barry. So it's kind of like Batman and the Joker. Joker's not going to let anyone kill Batman, but him. Nice. So Godspeed is now in Iron Heights. His memory of who Barry is removed. Barry asks Iris to renew their vows, as they never really got the proper wedding that they got. And a few days later, we see everybody, including Team Flash, Bart, Nora, Jay, and Joan, gather at the West House for Barry and Iris's wedding renewal vows, and Cisco officiates and declares them man and wife as they kiss, with Bart Allen singing a lovely song for his parents. And that's how episode 18 ends, and that wraps up my review on the season finale of season 7. Overall, I thought this was a decent episode. I thought this was a pretty good finale. Not as epic as some of the earlier ones, but this was still a lot of fun. And as I said, season 7 has had its share of ups and downs, but I'd probably say the last 5 episodes really picked up. So I would say those 5 episodes towards the end definitely made up for this. As I said, season 7 will not go down as the best season ever, but it won't go down as the worst. I'll just say it's pretty average. Half and half. Half good at the beginning. In the middle, it kind of goes off the rails a little bit, but then it picks it up towards the end with the last 5 episodes. So, yeah, this definitely made up for it. And I'm very curious to see how season 8 is going to be like, because they didn't leave anything open for an 8th season, and there's no clue about what's going to happen. This to me felt like the series finale as opposed to the season finale, but this was still a good ending and I quite liked it. So that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What did you think of the season 7 finale? Did you enjoy it? What was your thoughts on Eobard Thawne and Barry Allen working together? Did you find it a little bit weird seeing Eobard Thawne and Barry Allen working together? Or do you think this was just a one-off? And also, what's your thoughts on Barry now being faster than Thawne? Do you think this could be a turning point in their long battle with one another? And also, what did you think of all of the speedsters working together to take down the Godspeed clones? Did you enjoy that? And also, do you think Kid Flash should have been there as well? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I just want to say thanks again for listening to me reviewing all 18 episodes of Season 7. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see all of you next time for Season 8. So until then, take care everybody, and stay safe, and once again, thanks for listening.